I welcome everyone to a special meeting of the City Council on Wednesday, July 12th. If we could have a roll call, please, to establish quorum.
David Mitchell.
Here.
Christy Kendrick.
Here.
Terry McClung.
I'm here.
Mickey Schneider.
Here.
Peg Adamson.
Here.
Bob Thomas.
Here.
We have 6.
All right, if we could stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, this meeting was called, special meeting, and to relate specifically and only for the Code of Conduct as it relates individually to Councilmember Mickey Schneider and associated behavior, City Clerk Ann Armstrong. Get a motion to discuss.
So moved. To conserve time and in case I get interrupted and I don't want to wander and keep my thoughts, I made my statement and I want to read it so that I can get through it in a hurry so we have discussion. In the first quarter of 2017, Alderman Thomas introduced a code of conduct that was obtained from the Municipal League to the City Council, and we approved that code. Here are a few pertinent phrases that relate to the issues that I will be addressing. Create an environment that fosters civility, role models for their constituents and city staff, importance of trust invested by the public. City Council serves as a model of leadership and civility. City Council inspires public confidence. We'll be respectful of other members of the City Council, staff, and public by refraining from abusive conduct, personal charges, or verbal attacks. Treat fellow council members with the respect they would expect to receive in return. Always address fellow council members and citizens with respect. Do not engage in personal attacks of any kind under any circumstances. I now address the recent incident of July 5th and 6th at the County Clerk's office in Berryville by reading input from one of the 4 County Clerk employees that I received statements from. Copies have been provided to the mayor, council members, and both newspapers. I request that these signed statements be added to the meeting minutes of this meeting and that those signed statements not be paraphrased or altered in any capacity. July 10th, 2017. On July 5th, 2017, I received a phone call from Mickey Schneider demanding that I remove her voter registration immediately from the system. She was extremely rude and offensive and repeatedly told me that I needed to do my job and refused to send our county information to the president. I explained to Ms. Schneider that she would have to come to the office or mail a written statement to me stating that she wished to withdraw her voter registration and that by law I would be able to do so by phone conversation. On July 6, 2017, 9:30 a.m., Ms. Schneider and her husband, Stephen Schneider, came into the county clerk's office and immediately started demanding that she wanted all of her personal information to be removed from our system. I handed her a notepad and told her I just needed her to write a statement to that effect, that she wished to cancel her voter registration and to please sign and date it. Mickey started talking very loudly and rudely to me, stating that I should have a form already made up to remove her from the voter registration roll. And I explained again that I just needed a written statement with her signature. Mickey then went on a rant that she absolutely refused to send her personal information to that effing Republican president and that I should be ashamed of myself for not standing up for the rights of the voters. I tried to explain to her that I took an oath to uphold the law, and she went off on me again, yelling that Jamie and I were both being named in a lawsuit and that I should quit my job before allowing the county and state to send the voter information to that effing president, Republican president. While I was removing her from the voter registration database, Jamie came into the office and Mickey and her husband both started in on Jamie, yelling at her, and Mickey kept shaking her finger in Jamie's face. I did not hear everything she was saying, but she kept threatening that Jamie and I would both be sued if we sent in the voter information. Jamie tried to explain to her that she did not just work for the Democrats in this county and that she worked for everybody. Jamie told her that she had to follow the law. Mickey continued being rude and belligerent and threatening us with a lawsuit. Jamie walked away and I informed Mickey that I had removed her voter registration and she demanded that I show her proof that I had removed her. I informed her that I was not a liar and she yelled that she wanted me to print out a poll book so that she could be sure that her name was not in it. I told her that I would not print a poll book, but that I would print a page of the precinct to prove to her that I had removed her. I did so and handed it to her, and she could look at it. Mickey started to take the sheet. I took it away from her and told her she could not take it with her. This is the second time I have witnessed her obnoxious and bullying performance in the county clerk's office. She's not only rude and out of control, but an embarrassment to the city of Eureka Springs. Note, I'm not going to go over the incident of voiding registration nor reapplying, as that is a legal issue decided in a different setting, except to say that when Councilman Mickey Schneider voided her registration to vote, she voided her seat on the City Council at the same time. The issue tonight is simply conduct unbecoming of a City Council person, and in the case of the City Clerk, willfully and knowingly failing, refusing, or neglecting to execute or cause to be executed in Arkansas law by willfully not disclosing to the appropriate councilman or mayor at the time. Councilman Mickey Schneider does not have 2 or 3 alternative personalities that she can switch on or off depending on the issue. When Councilman Mickey Schneider was sworn in as a council member, she took on the mantle of Eureka Springs alderman, so she cannot play like she can be a citizen or an election official one time and not be seen as a Eureka Springs council person at another. When Alderman Mickey acted in the manner at the county clerk's office that is contained in the written statements and communicated to me in person, she was viewed as a council person representing Eureka Springs. Her actions, language, and demeanor were inappropriate and totally in disregard to the code of conduct we as a council agreed to. I'll address the Eureka Springs City Clerk's associated behavior in a moment in regards to this issue. Councilman Mickey's actions have also been inappropriate at multiple past council meetings as it relates to another council person seated at this table. I have been, and now since this outburst, concerned enough with Councilman Mickey and her abusive conduct and verbal attacks that take place to say enough is enough, and it is time for council to conduct peer review on this behavior and request that it be stopped immediately. Note that we cannot go into executive session since this discussion involves an elected city official. Attempts to have Councilman Mickey's correct her abusive behavior to date via other council members, the mayor, and citizens in Eureka Springs have proven ineffective. For several weeks now, I've been approached in public by citizens who are shocked at her continued behavior and wonder why at council we do not correct her behavior. The latest complaint comes from one of Councilman Mickey's close friends about her behavior towards another council person seated at this table. This citizen who spent time with Councilman Mickey on a trip went on to discuss that this behavior was so disturbing that it was going to affect her ability to be reelected if she continued, to which Councilman Mickey said it was going to continue. Quotes in today's both papers from Councilman Mickey illustrate her continued defiance of the code of conduct and her actions to wit. That I was a citizen first and a councilman second. In my 10 years of serving, I have always reiterated that. I will die for my voters to continue having their rights and being protected. That's what anybody in any position dealing with elections should be willing to do to protect their rights, Schneider said. I will die for my voters. I will die for my citizens to keep them free and clear. That's why I did what I did, why I'll do it again, and why nobody is going to tell me I don't have the right to be doing that. I'm requesting at this time that council peer review the aberrant conduct of Councilman Mickey Schneider, and that Councilman Mickey Schneider should consider at a minimum apologizing to the county clerk and her staff, along with all Eureka Springs City Council members, as well as the citizens of Eureka Springs, for her inappropriate outbursts and abusive behavior while representing the city of Eureka Springs. Continuing. Now the issue involving the City Clerk Ann Armstrong and the incident with Councilman Mickey as of July 6th and continuing into July 7th. Post-Councilman Mickey's outburst in the county clerk's office and Judge Barr's office, the county clerk called over to the mayor's office about 3 p.m. and found the mayor not available. The county clerk was then put in touch with City Clerk Ann Armstrong. You have in your handout the conversation that the county clerk had with Ann as written by the county clerk. At no time that evening, after getting the news that a sitting council member in Eureka Springs had effectively resigned her elected position on city council when she removed herself from the voter registration rolls for the state of Arkansas, did the city clerk notify the mayor, any council person, or the mayor pro tem of this issue. Instead of notification of the serious incident, the city clerk notified Councilman Mickey Schneider of what the county clerk said about voiding her voter registration and shared the actual reference pages given to her by the county clerk regarding this issue. The discussion between the city clerk and Councilman Mickey Schneider resulted in Councilman Mickey Schneider attempting to register at the courthouse here the next AM only to find out a fact registration is not acceptable, and therefore she had to go in person to the courthouse in Berryville that day. July 7th, Friday a.m. The mayor's assistant went to the clerk's office and asked was there anything that the city clerk needed to discuss with the mayor, and was told, "I've handled it." The mayor's assistant asked the city clerk twice about the calls and was there anything she wanted to share with the mayor, in which the city clerk said again, "I have handled it." I have not heard as of this meeting if in fact the city clerk has ever shared the event with the mayor. Question: where in the city clerk's job description does it say she is over elected council members or is a substitute for the mayor as administrator for the city? Where in the city clerk's job description does it say she's a peer to an alderman and can keep pertinent information regarding an alderman without it from duly elected council members? By withholding crucial information of a serious manner, the city clerk and Councilman Mickey Schneider manipulated events that avoided the ability of the city council members or the mayor to deal with a serious situation. What was the motive in withholding this information and in telling the administrative assistant to the mayor in a late fashion and on 2 occasions that she was handling it? As of this meeting, the city clerk has yet to share the issue and what transpired with the mayor, and has willfully and knowingly failed, refused, or neglected to execute or cause to be executed laws or ordinances within this jurisdiction, and should be deemed guilty of nonfeasance in office. Referral Universal Citation Arkansas Code 1442-109-2016. Nonfeasance is described as the intentional failure to perform a required duty or obligation. I request that City Council consider whether the City Clerk should apologize to this Council for interfering in the Council's ability to conduct peer review on one of its members, and to the Mayor for usurping his authority as the City Administrator. To avoid dealing with this incident with Councilman Mickey and City Clerk Ann Armstrong would be dereliction of duty on the part of Council. I would rather have had the ability to discuss this in executive session, but again, elected officials cannot go into executive session to have a discussion like this, and this issue needs to be addressed by Council. I appreciate the Mayor for calling this special meeting after the events of the last regularly scheduled meeting on July 10, 2017 at 6 p.m. Thank you for listening.
Ms. Adamson?
I have several objections to just the way this meeting is taking place. We have no city attorney here. We really need to have the city attorney here. I do not like having this stuff aired this way. I think it's nasty. And the purpose of it is not informative. It's not helping anything. I just especially want to get back to governing the city. But I especially object to not having the city attorney here, and I would ask to table this until another time when he is here. Thank you.
Is that a motion to table?
I make a motion to table this until the city attorney is here.
Is there a second?
I would, but I don't think it would be appropriate for me to second.
Bob?
I'll second that.
So there's a motion to table and a second. Is there discussion on the table? Ms. Schneider?
If we're going to table and do this, then I really think that these 4 people should be requested to be there, because of these 4...
Ms. Schneider, please keep regarding the tabling the motion.
Because of these 4, there are 4 totally different descriptions of what happened. We need them here so they can be clear.
We're not, it's in the court of law, so do you want...
What's that got to do with
We're
it?
talking about tabling the motion or not.
Yeah, well, if it's going to be tabled, otherwise, what's, you know...
All right, point taken. Any further discussion on tabling?
Point of order. We had a very specific topic. We're not discussing Mr. Snyder's voter registration and the reasons behind it. Or
No, we got to stick to the motion
conduct.
is to table.
And the code is...
The motion is to table this,
Oh, okay.
and there's a second. That's the discussion.
That's true.
Any further discussion?
I'm sorry, I just automatically assumed that the city attorney
All
would
right,
be...
all those in favor of table, Mr. McClung?
Well, I think that you can have some minimal discussion as to whether the motion should be tabled or not. I'm not so sure yet before you take a vote that I know enough I want to hear why he thinks we ought to proceed, if that's what he was going to say.
Then, if that's
If
true,
that's what he was going to say,
then we can vote not to table it.
Well, what I'm asking is if David, Mr. Mitchell was going to make a statement as to why he thinks we should proceed now and not table it, is that what you were going to do?
Mr. Mitchell,
It's the code of conduct in relation to the behavior. It's not anything to do with the legalities of pulling your voting or not. It's conduct and behavior. And I don't see, and it's with a peer, another council person, and then it lifts over into, because of the issue, the conduct of the city clerk. So if y'all think it needs the attorney,
no,
I don't know. I don't think it does.
Whether or not we should table this.
Well, I'd like to explain why I think we should table it.
Okay.
I'd like to know if the code of conduct that we adopted here in the city council room applies out in the community. That's the first question that I have. And also,
I think at this point we need to probably vote on whether or not to table it. We can always bring that back up.
okay,
And if you don't feel comfortable, you want to continue the discussion, then vote no to tabling it. Ms. Schneider?
Have you or anyone talked to the city attorney to find out, in regards to out-of-office activities, how legal or unlegal those things are?
That's got nothing to do with the
Yes, it
motion.
does. That would be why
Nothing to do
you
with the
would be
motion at
there.
this point. Please, ma'am.
Yeah, it would.
There's a motion on the table to defer this, and then call for the question, unless we've got a...
I have one other question. If we defer it, does that mean we want to defer it to the next regular meeting?
Well, actually,
Miss-
we really need to set a date on the deferment, when we want to have that. This is a special meeting to discuss this one item.
Okay, so we want to take this vote first and then choose a date? Is that the way you do that? Or make it inclusive? I don't care. It just...
Well, we got a motion. Peg made the motion, and Mr. Thomas seconded, so I would think we need to really have a date to when we want to defer it to. So, would you want to amend your motion and defer it?
You want me to?
Well, Mr. Thomas, would you be willing to withdraw your second if Peg amends her motion to a specific date?
yeah.
I don't know when the city attorney is going to be here.
He'll be back within a couple of days.
Okay. So
But I don't know what his schedule's like, but again, that's,
That's where we are.
I make a motion that we table this event until the city attorney returns, which would be like the 19th of July at the same time, 5 p.m.
We have a mid-year budget workshop at the
Oh.
Odd at 6 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
I didn't add that
Yeah.
on there, sorry.
How about the 8th? There's the 18th. I've been told to amend it to. I make a motion to table this event.
That's not a good date for me.
I'll be out of town.
When are you coming back?
Well, why not just make it at the next meeting?
At
24?
the 24th? Fine. I make a motion.
Not a special meeting?
Why does it have to be a special meeting?
It doesn't have to be.
I make a motion.
What's so special?
And it's already on the agenda.
Oh, it certainly is.
It was added. Yes, I know. But
I
that's
make a
what it-
motion to table this event until the city attorney is here for our next regular meeting on the 24th of July, 2017. That would take place either during the meeting or before it.
It's on the agenda, so.
All right?
Do we have you want to second
I'll second
that?
that.
Okay.
We do have a budget review.
Yeah, but it's during the meeting, right?
Budget review's on a Wednesday, I think.
No. Our
Okay.
regular budget review is prior to the...
No, that's,
Fireman's pension meeting.
We had the fireman's pension meeting before. We don't have a budget review at that time, do we?
I think that was taken off the agenda for that meeting.
Yeah, it was. It was taken off the agenda. All right, so we got a motion to defer this to our next regular scheduled meeting on July 24th. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
No.
Okay, so that's 4-2.
Correct.
All right, motion passes. Motion to adjourn. That concludes this meeting.
so moved.
Did we get a motion to adjourn?
Need a motion. Terry just made it.
Oh.
Get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
All right, thank you.
Why was the special meeting